Welcome back to Poorly Educated Today in the News, and good Lord, it has been one of them weeks where you check the headlines and immediately need a biscuit, a cup of coffee, and possibly a helmet. Because apparently the world decided to spin the chaos dial up to 11 and then duct tape the knob there. We got wars, oil prices jumping like a goat on espresso, politicians arguing with judges, and the economy acting like a tractor with 3 different drivers, all yanking the wheel at once. So today, we're going to sort through this mess. The only way a poorly educated citizen knows how, which is to stare at it real hard, make a few questionable comparisons, and try to figure out why everything feels like the global version of a county fair demolition derby. Segment 1: Oil, missiles, and the world's most expensive traffic jam. Now, first things first, the big story hanging over everything like a thundercloud full of fireworks is this war between the United States, Israel, and Iran that just keeps getting hotter than a tailpipe in August. The leadership in Iran changed real fast after the assassination of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and his son Mojtaba Khamenei stepped right in like a family business, where the job description is supreme leader and professional enemy of the West. That kind of quick power shift usually means one thing in geopolitics, which is that diplomacy just got tossed in the dumpster behind the building. And meanwhile, the Strait of Hormuz, which is basically the world's oil highway, is turning into the international version of a tractor blocking a 1-lane bridge. About 20% of global oil flows through there, and right now, tankers are avoiding it like a raccoon avoids daylight. Iran's been attacking commercial ships, threatening to block oil exports, and the result is crude prices popping over $100 a barrel. That's the economic equivalent of your truck suddenly needing premium gas, diesel, and prayer all at the same time. And look, the grounded observation underneath the chaos is pretty simple. When energy gets disrupted, everything else follows. Transportation, shipping, groceries, fertilizer, heating bills, it all gets tangled together like extension cords in a barn drawer. So while world leaders are arguing about missile strikes and strategy, regular folks are staring at the gas pump, wondering why their wallet feels like it got mugged by a gallon of unleaded. Segment 2: Tariffs, trade wars, and the government doing a 3-point turn. Back here in the United States, the economic steering wheel is getting yanked around so hard, it looks like someone's trying to parallel park a battleship. The Supreme Court just struck down the administration's big global tariffs that were put in place under emergency powers. The court basically said the president can't use the International Emergency Economic Powers Act like a giant universal wrench to tighten every bolt in the trade system. So the administration did what governments do best in moments of legal defeat. It immediately found another lever and pulled that one instead. Now they're using the 1974 Trade Act to slap a 10% tariff on imports, and there's talk of pushing that to 15% real soon. This is like when your truck won't start, so you kick the tire, jiggle the key, and then hit the hood with a wrench, hoping the engine respects authority. Businesses are now stuck in a weird limbo because billions of dollars in tariffs were already collected under the rule that got struck down. Somewhere between $120 and $130 billion might have to be refunded. Companies are trying to figure out how to get their money back without triggering audits that last longer than a porch conversation in July. And the underlying truth here is that supply chains hate unpredictability more than anything else. Corporations can deal with high costs or low costs, but sudden rule changes are like potholes in the highway. You might survive the first one, but if they keep popping up, you eventually snap an axle. Segment 3: Immigration crackdowns and political friendly fire. Now, immigration enforcement is another place where things are getting spicy enough to require a fire extinguisher. The government launched a big enforcement operation called Operation Charlotte's Web, which sounds like either a federal crackdown or the world's most aggressive spider documentary. Hundreds of people were arrested in North Carolina, but the operation has already triggered lawsuits after a naturalized U.S. citizen says agents smashed his car window and detained him even after he proved he was American. That kind of situation creates political headaches real fast. Even some Republicans in Congress are now blocking Department of Homeland Security nominees because they want more transparency about who exactly is getting detained in these operations. When members of your own party start putting the brakes on your appointments, that's like discovering the guy riding shotgun just grabbed the steering wheel. Meanwhile, the administration is also pushing a legal argument to the Supreme Court that could drastically narrow birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment. The idea is that being born in the United States wouldn't automatically make someone a citizen if their parents lack legal status. That would be a massive shift in constitutional interpretation, basically rewriting one of the country's longest-standing rules. And the real observation here is that immigration policy in America has become a pressure cooker. Enforcement crackdowns, legal challenges, and political infighting are all happening simultaneously. It's less like a policy debate and more like a family argument that started at Thanksgiving and somehow turned into a Supreme Court case. Segment 4: War spending, border missions, and the Pentagon's to-do list. While all that's happening, the Pentagon is trying to manage about 15 different missions at once, which is a bit like asking the same pickup truck to haul cattle, plow snow, and win a NASCAR race. The new defense budget just authorized about $900 billion in spending, with huge chunks going toward weapons procurement, naval power, and advanced military tech. At the same time, the military is already deeply involved in this expanding conflict with Iran. The strikes inside Iran are getting more intense, and regional casualties are climbing. Even the intelligence community admitted earlier that military action probably wouldn't produce regime change, which is government speak for saying this might take a while. Then there's the weird side mission, where the Department of Defense is asking civilian employees to volunteer for deployments, helping with immigration enforcement along the southern border. That's where the analogy starts to feel like a circus. You got cybersecurity experts, logistics planners, and analysts who signed up to work on national defense suddenly being asked if they'd like to help manage border operations. And the reality here is that modern national security problems don't stay in neat categories anymore. War, immigration, cyber threats, and economic competition are all overlapping like storm fronts on a weather map, which means the government's job description is basically trying to juggle bowling balls during an earthquake. Segment 5: Technology Gold Rush and the AI Money Pit. Now, while politicians and generals are busy arguing about missiles and tariffs, the tech world is quietly throwing mountains of money into artificial intelligence infrastructure. Analysts say corporate spending just to prepare data for AI systems could increase 7-fold over the next few years. 7 times. That's not a technology trend. That's a financial stampede. Companies are realizing that AI isn't just about fancy chatbots or automated spreadsheets. It requires enormous amounts of organized data, giant server farms, and enough electricity to power a medium-sized country fair. If you don't build that infrastructure now, you risk falling behind competitors who do. At the same time, you've got business deals blending technology with politics, like the Trump family backing a merger with a drone company to bring it public. And Amazon is expanding its robo-taxi network, which means we might soon be riding around in cars that drive themselves while delivering packages and listening to us complain about traffic. The deeper observation here is that technology and geopolitics are merging faster than ever. Drones, AI, logistics networks, cyber systems, all of it now ties directly into national security and economic power. The world isn't just competing with armies anymore. It's competing with algorithms, data centers, and who can build the smartest machines before the next crisis shows up. In conclusion, what we're seeing right now is a world where everything is connected and everything is stressed at the same time. War in the Middle East shakes energy markets. Energy markets shake the economy. Economic chaos feeds political fights. Political fights spill into courts and immigration policy. And while all that's happening, technology companies are building the next generation of systems that will probably run half the planet. So the result is this strange moment where missiles are flying, oil tankers are hiding, courts are overruling presidents, and AI servers are humming away in giant warehouses somewhere. It's chaotic, it's complicated, and if you step back far enough, it almost looks like the global economy is trying to rebuild itself in real time.